So with that, I'd like to call on the BPP's Agent of Change for Belmopan, none other than the Honorable Charles Leslie Jr. And he will talk to you a little bit about the BPP Progressive Plan involving tourism and the environment. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, my fellow Belizeans, members of the media, and of course my brothers and sisters in the BPP. I'm a proud member of the BPP. My name is Charles Leslie Jr. and I am the BPP candidate for Belmopan. I hereby present the 8867 Progressive Tourism and Environment Plan. Tourism reform policies, the BPP will revisit and review the Master Tourism Plan in an effort to ensure emphasis on the overnight sector. Create incentives for a renewed focus on ecotourism, protect and support Belizean-owned tourism products and businesses. Environmental reform policies, the BPP will consult with all relevant stakeholders when drafting, revising, amending, and implementing environmental legislation. Earmark revenues from environmental fines for rehab of affected areas. Ensure EIA process is respected and adhered to. Implement and enforce the National Integrated Water Resource Management Policy and Act. Ensure Water Commission receives adequate operational funds. Protect all remaining riparian forests and begin a process of re-establishing riparian areas that have been deforested. Encourage and support community-based watershed organizations. Marine and coastal management reform policies. The BPP will legislate the integrated coastal zone management policy. Review the ministerial discretion provisions of the Fisheries Act. Finalize Belize Fisheries Act revision project. Solid waste management reform policies. The BPP will enact policy to separate garbage at household level and promote household composting. Policy to establish a hemp industry to replace non-biodegradable products to decrease deforestation. Policy for appropriate taxes for biodegradable versus non-biodegradable products. Renewable energy resources. I would like to add that we only have 0.02% alternative energy in this country. Haiti is doing better than us, guys. The BPP will enact legislation supporting the harvesting of tidal energy along coastline, harvesting of energy in creeks and rivers, promotion of wind, solar, magnetic energy sources and technology, efficiently using our natural gas reserve for energy generation, use of petroleum only as a reserve as shown by the client. Review and implement the Belize Energy Assessment Policy that was launched in 2010, if I'm not mistaken. 5 years ago. Policy to ensure protected areas remain protected. Enforcement of protected areas legislation. Forest and protected areas management. As a result of the devastation of our pine forest by the pine bark beetle, Belize now imports 90% of its pine lumber used in the construction industry. In 1995, the Forestry Department was drastically downsized by the Public Service retrenchment. Since then, all reforestation and forest management programs were discontinued. With very limited monitoring of the national forest reserves, illegal logging by Guatemalan poachers has resulted in annual losses in the millions. The BPP will expand the forestry department to meet long-term goals, enact a policy to allow sustainable use of the Chiquibul forest resources to establish agricultural-based communities that coexist in harmony with nature. The BPP will develop sustainable infrastructure initiatives in the Chiquibul to ensure access by local communities and security forces. The BPP will revise and implement penalty fees for deforestation. Coming from a tourism village, I can tell you that this has been a huge problem, so we will address this issue. Progressive forestry and wood sector plan. The BPP will embark on a national reforestation and protection program with short and long-term sustainable targets. In order to accomplish this monumental and ambitious task, the BPP administration will place a moratorium on exportation of all sand lumber to encourage development of value-added wood product sector. Provide incentives, soft loans, technical and marketing assistance. Expand the forestry department by setting up training and nursery stations in every district, including the Mountain Pine Ridge Station. Initiate a harvesting program of local seeds of fast-growing wood species, which will include melena, teak, and several species of bamboo. Some species may need to be imported. Medium to long-term species will include rosewood, mahogany, cedar, guanacaste, and other assorted hardwood species. Develop a 5-mile reforestation and forest management zone along the entire western border. Selective woods harvested from the clearing of the zone will be used by local furniture producers. Allocate resources to replant the affected pine forests that were plagued by the pine bark beetle. The district forestry stations will provide the seeds, nursery bags, and technical assistance. Young people, including families, will be employed on contract and full-time basis to fill bags, plant and attend to seedlings until such time that the saplings are ready to transplant. Establish a young foresters corps consisting of young men and women who dropped out of school. They will be trained over a 2-year period to become junior forest officers and rangers. The reforestation program and wood product sector will employ thousands of Belizeans and families. It will also include a school-based training component in the rural areas to encourage participation by our youth. The reforestation program will be financed by grants from the World Bank Carbon Finance Project and the Biocarbon Fund, among other grant funding agents. This project will secure Belize's future wood demands in the housing and woods products industry. It will also establish Belize as a producer of carbon credits for sale on the international market. Our plan, ladies and gentlemen, is to will give us the money we need to do all the things we are talking about up here. And you know, the first one is to remove greed and corruption. That's where all our money is going. That's why we can't pay to protect our people and to build our people, but we can pay to build roads. In conclusion, I ask all residents of the beautiful capital city of Belmopan for your support. Registered voters, non-registered voters, PUPs, UDPs, BPPs, no Ps. For after November 4th, my Belizean brothers and sisters, we all live and we will all be residents of Belmopan, the capital city of Belize, and we will all be residents and citizens of this beautiful jewel that everybody wants a piece of for free, and leaving our people living in poverty, and we cannot and we will not tolerate that anymore. We have to build people before we can build a nation, because if we build people, the people will build a nation, and that is called real progress. Vote green, vote the BPP. I thank you for your time.